I'm not a good one for words, Jenny. I wasn't when we first met. I sure ain't now. Every situation we'd ever been in together. It was you who pulled us through. Now here we are, and it's the one of us who can't talk who has to do all the talking. This situation, Jenny, I don't like it. No, not one bit. You's is sick, and I's the one who's supposed to be able to help. All I can do is hold you, like I did before. All I can do is hold you. Jenny, no matter what, we's always gonna be together. I was gonna see you again. No, I'll never.
The natural state of the universe is darkness, but even in that darkness light is found on occasion. One soul now finds himself both in darkness and the illumination of light. Now two things can exist simultaneously, until one or the other cast the other aside and assert dominance. The individual remains a void, lost in hope, caught in self-despair, gasping, clawing for air. Bunson is caught in the void. The fate of the universe depends on his ability to see the light he casts off and bring that light back to those who need it most. His friends, his family, the people who call him neighbor. The city, the state, the country, the world he calls home, the galaxy, the universe, and all beyond, all depends on one bear's ability to overcome despair. Find yourself, Bunson. Failure is not an option. Not now. Not after you've come so far. You must succeed. The first secret put you into shock. The second into stasis. Your baggage is heavy, your mind full, your heart in agony. You blame yourself for everything, for the existence of Captain MT, for the fate of your one true love, a heavy burden indeed, one that you would have weathered had you not learned the final part of Captain MT's heinous plan. For it was the final secret that robbed you of your soul, or so you think. The truth that, all this time, your one true love, Jenny, is still alive. Not only alive, but imprisoned by Captain MT, somewhere in time, somewhere in space, unknown, only that Captain MT has her. More than that, we cannot be certain. Sometimes things happen in life. When they occur, they seem overwhelming, as if we'll never be able to handle the stress placed on our life. But time guides us along our life's path, helping us see things as they are, not as how they seem at first glance. The unconquerable stress of the moment, through time, fades away into nothingness. Let the days and months pass, Bunson. Let time heal your wound. Look, listen, learn.
Judy, what's wrong?
He did it. He's always teasing me.
I didn't do a thing. You saw me. I was just sitting here.
He's right. She did it herself. You heard her.
Class, all right. One at a time, please. Jack, Judy, now let's see if we can't get to the bottom of this. Jack, tell me what...
Whatever happened in this classroom is going to take a great deal of explaining. Suppose we go back to the day the trouble really started. Judy has brought with her a bottle of perfume. It was her first real perfume, and she was eager to show it to her friends. and the girls were impressed. Uh-oh, there's the bell.
Excuse me.
Good morning.
Woo-wee, stinky.
Oh, you stop that.
All right, now, let's all find our places, please. Time for class to begin.
It began as simply as that. Jack first teased Judy on impulse. Most teasing begins that way. Some of it never goes any farther than good-natured bantering. Yet Jack persisted in tormenting Judy. She felt Jack was no longer trying to be funny as much as he was trying to hurt her feelings.
You stinky, Judy is a stinky. Stinky, 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 stinky.
The situation seemed to gather momentum of its own, like a snowball rolling downhill, until Judy dreaded meeting Jack at all, until she hated to go to school where he could tease her. Her schoolwork began to suffer. She spent more time worrying about Jack's next attack than about her studying.
Judy, could you stay a moment? I'd like to talk with you.
Why, yes, Miss Brown. I'll see you.
Judy, you've been very unhappy lately. Something's troubling you, something that interferes with your schoolwork. Wouldn't you like to tell me about it? Judy, I want to help you. What's wrong?
There isn't anything wrong, Miss Brown. May I go now?
Yes, you may go. But if you ever feel like talking about it, won't you let me know?
Nor was Miss Brown the only one who was beginning to feel concern over the problem of teasing as it affected Judy and Jack. Classmates who could see what was going on were beginning to take an active interest.
Listen, you're riding Judy too hard. Fun's fun, but this is different. Why don't you lay off?
I think it's awful. I think you should have told Miss Brown what Jack's been doing.
Well, I don't want to be a tattletale, not if I can help it, but... Oh, I don't know what I'll do, but I'll think of something.
Finally, one day, the business all came to a head.
All right, class. Bill has just told us what he considers to be the important effects of the Industrial Revolution. The invention of the sewing machine and the invention of the cotton gin. Do the rest of you have any other ideas? All right, Judy, how about you? What do you think?
Well, Miss Brown, I think that...
There we have the incidents leading up to the unhappy situation in which Judy and Jack found themselves. The point is, what could have been done? What should have been done before Jack's disregard for the other fellow's feelings resulted in this? What do you think? Should Judy have reported Jack's actions to Miss Brown?
Judy, I just want to help you. What's wrong?
Miss Brown, well, it seems sort of silly when you go to tell about it, and I don't want to tattle, but, well, it's Jack Sims. He teases me all the time. I had a bottle of perfume one day, and it got broken so that he could smell it, and ever since he's been driving me crazy. He's been calling me Stinky.
Do you think bringing the problem out in the open, tattling, if you want to call it that, would have been justified and the wisest thing for Judy to do? Or do you believe that under ordinary circumstances, the problem would have worked itself out with a little more help on the part of Judy's schoolmates?
You stinky, Judy!
Listen, I thought I told you to lay off. Let her alone.
Why? What's it to you?
Oh, you make me tired. Always hurting Judy's feelings, and just because she beat you in that essay contest.
Say, you can't say that.
Oh, yeah? Everybody else is.
Or there's another course Judy might have tried, retaliation, getting even with Jack.
Say, what's the big idea? What do you think you're doing?
Why, what are you talking about? I haven't the faintest idea of what you mean.
Wherever you go, there will be teasers. Occasionally, these people are amusing, more often simply discourteous and annoying. But teasers may do real damage if they ridicule others because they look or act differently, or, as in Judy's case, because they are victims of circumstances. Wherever you go, there will be those who can't take it. When someone is making every effort to hurt our feelings, very few of us can take it. Even if you are never the teaser or never the one being teased, you will meet this problem. There is a Judy or Jack among your friends. What should Judy have done? Did Jack know what he was doing? You were Judy. If you were Jack, if you were one of their classmates, what would you do?
Bunson, I sense a battle within you, a battle between courage and fear, bravery and cowardice. More, your fear of failure, hope for victory, fear of losing Ginny once more, fear of Captain MT prevailing with his monstrous plan, hope for renewing your life with your love, hope of seeing Captain MT pay for his acts of malice. You cannot have both in your life, Bunson. One must prevail, even if it's allowing fear to govern your actions. You cannot go on holding both within your soul. Fortunately, we've time, much time, an eternal clock that never hits the same minute twice, one that goes on forever. Time has no meaning here. An eternity here, 1 second in your world will have passed. We have time, Bunson. We have much time. With the passage of time gone, I can sense understanding within you, acceptance of what has occurred. The many months you've spent in my charge have allowed you to examine yourself within, without, all that you are. What has come, you've already accepted. What comes next is what is holding you back. Here's wisdom. It is fear that still holds you back, Bunson. Fear keeps you locked in stasis, keeping you from doing what you know you must. As your cousin Lazar learned long ago, fear is everyone's greatest enemy because it blinds us to the truth, that life can be lived without fear. It is in our lives so long as we allow it a place. Realize this, and free yourself from the eternal struggle of time, the battle of fear, the victory of admitting it's all right to be afraid, so long as you don't let the fear rule your life. What is worse, living with fear forever, or facing your fear and ridding your life of it? What is the worst fate Bunson bear? Once again, look, listen, learn.
This is the day of tryouts for our annual swimming meet at the Lawndale Community Club. And it's a special day for one of the boys because he's proving something that happens all the time. He's proving that you can overcome a handicap so completely that you climb right to the top. Oh, Bill hasn't won yet, but he has qualified to swim in the finals. So it is a special day for him. It's rather a special day for me, too. You see, I've been coaching Bill, and I feel I had a part in making him one of our best swimmers. But I said something about a handicap, didn't I? Well, there was a time when Bill was severely handicapped as far as swimming goes. He used to visit the pool once in a while, but it was the same story every time. He really wanted to learn to swim. But one thing was certain. He'd never learn that way. Yes, Bill had a handicap. That handicap was fear.
Oh, it's no use, Mr. Barker. I'm afraid. I'm a coward.
You're the first coward I've ever known that had courage enough to admit it.
Huh?
Look, I'll agree you're afraid of the water. But does that make you a coward? Most people are afraid of something. Most folks are afraid of wild animals. A lot of people are afraid of speeding cars. I am. I always get out of the way when I see one coming toward me. I guess that makes me a coward, too.
That's different. That makes sense. But being afraid of water, it's silly.
It's easy to say a fear is silly, but that doesn't necessarily help. You know, you're letting yourself get in the habit of being afraid.
In the habit?
Yes. Hey, maybe you know my kid sister. She used to be afraid of dogs. She's getting over it now, but once it was quite serious. We don't really know how that fear started, but it might well have happened this way. When my sister was very small, the people next door had a large dog. He was a rough, noisy dog, too. Kept fenced in the yard all the time. Perhaps sometime in her play, Sis came up quite close to the fence. When the dog came running toward her, she was naturally startled. And, well, if that happened several times, you can see how she might have gotten the habit of being afraid of dogs. And that habit stayed with her long after she forgot all about the first dog that frightened her.
You said she was getting over it now.
How did she do that? How did she? Well, she knew it was an unreasonable fear, and she wanted to overcome it. So she and I worked together. We figured she should know dogs. We felt she should make friends with dogs. It wasn't easy for her. We took it very slow. My knowing that a dog wouldn't hurt her wasn't enough. She had to know. She had to have experience in handling dogs, caring for them. There was a cute little puppy. How could she be afraid of him? How could she help loving the little fella? Who wouldn't come closer to a big dog for a chance to play with a puppy a little longer? Who could remain afraid of the pup's mother very long? Certainly not my sister. It takes experience, knowledge, determination, and insight to overcome fears that are not rational. But it can be done.
Maybe some people can do it, but I'm too much of a coward.
If you keep calling yourself a coward, you're apt to start acting like one. Say, didn't I see your picture in the paper the other day? Something about a bicycle ordinance, wasn't it?
Yes, I just happen to have a copy right here.
One copy. Oh, yes, here we are. You deserve to be proud of yourself. Student defends bicycle ordinance. The paper doesn't give many details. Tell me about this.
Well, you know about the new ordinance to keep bicycles off the sidewalks.
Mm-hmm.
It's really an important safety measure. But a lot of the kids didn't like it, and they held this protest meeting. Some of us thought it was a good ordinance, and I went to the meeting and said so. It seems to me, in the interest of safety, we ought to accept this rule. The least we can do is give it a fair trial.
Ah, pipe down.
Do you have a bicycle? Yes, I have a bike. But when I'm walking on a sidewalk, I like to feel safe. So I'm willing to ride my bike in the street.
Good going, Bill. You told him. Do you agree with me?
Sure. Oh, get up and say so.
No.
Go ahead.
No.
Come on. I tried to get Ed to speak up, but he wouldn't. And the kids are still all steamed up. I don't know.
The courage of your convictions.
Huh?
About Ed. You said he wouldn't speak up even though he agreed with you. Would you say he was afraid?
Afraid? Well, I guess. But that can't be. Ed helped Janet today when she stumbled into the water. He's no coward.
The other day you stood up for what you thought right against opposition, so you're no coward. You showed what we call moral courage.
Well, maybe. Maybe I'm just a part-time coward in the water.
That's where I'd like to help. You want to learn how to swim?
Well,
Come on, then. Let's get started. That day, Bill started overcoming his fear. He was in the habit of being afraid. So the important thing was to get him in the habit of not being afraid. Bill learned gradually, over a period of several weeks, some of the skills he would need for swimming. As he became more skillful in the water, he also became more confident. He was ready to try actions that would have frightened him before, because now he knew he could always right himself in the water, and so needn't fear drowning. Then, as he learned more, Bill gradually eased into deeper water. If he could swim across the shallow end of the pool, he could swim across the deep end. And, of course, the better he could swim, the less Bill feared the water. And he overcame his habit of fear. He became confident. And so today is a special day for Bill. He did overcome his handicap, and very well, too. Whether or not he wins in the swimming meet, he has proved to himself and to others that he is not a coward. Well, we all have little fears which hamper us. We should take a tip from Bill. Our lives can be richer, happier, if we overcome our fears.
Time has served you well, Bunson. How are you feeling?
I tell you, when you first told me that I created MT, I was about done passed out. But I could handle that. I knew I could. I'd just have to fess up and face that monster and make him pay for all he's done to me and those in my life. But then you told me what's really up, and that was just too much for me to take. Finding out Ginny is still alive after all this time, that what we thought was Ginny was really a clone, that MT made me face all of that, and it wasn't even real, that Ginny is still out there somewhere, a prisoner of MT. It was all too much for me to take. I just remember passing out. The next thing I know was I hears your voice and sees all these pictures. It seemed like a dream. It went on for so long. Then when I came out of it, it was like only a few seconds had passed. It's all so confusing, but I do feel better now. I knows I's got to face MT, find Ginny and stop Jingles. I'm just not sure how. I was sent here to find a weapon to face MT with. I's got more than I bargained for, that's for sure. But what weapon? What can I use against him?
Knowledge is power, the only true power, Bunson. What I give you is the only weapon that can beat MT. Knowledge.
Knowledge of what? How can knowledge take out someone as powerful as MT?
It's not what, but who.
Who? Who can I get to help me with MT?
Not help you, Bunson. As I said before, defeating MT will be much easier than you could believe. It's what comes next that will be your true test of character. Allow fate, time, destiny to see if you are worthy of what comes later. To defeat MT, you must find the one person in the universe who has control over his actions. You must find his mother.
His mama. She'd be in the aquarium, wouldn't she? But that was so long ago. There's no way she can still be alive.
As MT came from the aquarium, as Ginny did, as his mother does, there is no shortage of persons who've entered your world from your experiment. His mother is still alive. Find her, bring her with you to face MT, and he will crumble within her clutch.
That sounds too easy. What's the catch? What makes this so important an encounter?
Captain MT holds Ginny hostage over you, Bunson. Unless you set Captain MT free from his mother's domination, Ginny will die. This time for real. This time forever. He's hidden her in the space-time continuum. There's no way you can find her, much less save her, unless you agree to free MT and let him show you where Ginny is.
But don't you know where she is? Like that agent of destruction you told me about. You said it was near my friends. Can't you tell me where Ginny is?
I can only sense so much, Bunson Bear, the agent of destruction. Ginny. All I can tell you of them is that they are close at hand, perhaps within Waterford, yet exactly where I do not know. These things you'll have to learn from MT.
Let me guess. In order to show me where Ginny is, MT will make it a condition that he stays free of his mother's grasp and control.
Indeed, letting him remain free in this devil's bargain. His plan to overtake the universe will have failed, but he will still have control over Waterford and all those in it. As a psychic vampire, MT will continue to draw upon the misery of your neighbors and friends. Their lives, for all intents and purposes, will be over, forever doomed to misery, day in, day out. If you let MT free in order to save Ginny, the cost will be the lives of all those you hold dear, Bunson Bear.
So, I's got to not only set the minds of Waterford free, I's not only got to save Ginny and free her from MT's control and imprisonment. I's not only got to find this here agent of destruction. I's not only got to do all of this while still keeping MT from escaping into the unknown. I's got to do all this on my own.
Doing what is right is often hard, Bunson Bear, but with knowledge, anything is possible.
Maybe, but I's need to see someone before I face MT. If knowledge is power, then I's needs a serious charge up.